What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 League Racing. We're here for the Streamers and Co VRL round number 11 in Singapore. It is the penultimate race of the season and I am very excited for this one to get underway. I was looking forward to this race pretty much all season. I think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for us to grab some points. I think it's going to be a very chaotic race, and with only 16 starters, I'd say that we've got a very strong opportunity of grabbing some points here. Apologies for not having a video out last week for a league race. I actually did participate in the league race, however I had such bad connection issues that I only really raced in the race for about a lap or two, and then it was just fighting back and forth with connection issues and trying to regain control of my AI, and eventually I ended up DNFing from the race due to the connection issues and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a real shame, but especially considering I was probably on for a podium that race, looking at how it panned out. But I guess it's just another thing to compound how bad the season's going. Now it's a wet qualifying session here, so getting a good time in quickly is imperative, and going over the track and invalidating my lap time like that is basically going to mean that I'm going to be out of the running immediately. And it was incredibly disappointing to see, because once again I looked at the times that people were setting and thought to myself, I reckon I probably could have been in the top 5 once again. So yeah, it was really upsetting to find that just a little extension, a few millimeters, no, probably more like a few centimeters, but anyway, a few centimeters over the track limit, and that is enough to put me down outside of the top 10. We're P12 at the moment, and I don't think we're going to be improving very much. Everyone above me is on soft compound tyres. In fact, Andy ends up improving ahead of me to take P12, so we're going to be P13 out of what was 16 runners, a few DNFs throughout the session. And yeah, as we come to the end here, you can see that I'm not improving on this run, even though I was close, just wasn't quite enough. And yeah, that is going to be no higher than P13 for us, unfortunately. So we're going to have to do a bit of a comeback during the race, I think, if we're going to have any chance of taking the fight to our closest rivals. Jermaine there in P9, he's probably the guy I'm really desperate to beat this season if I possibly can. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a challenge on our hands if we want to try and get ahead of Jermaine before the end of the race. It's not a particularly long race around Singapore, of course, although the circuit is a fairly long one. The number of laps isn't too high, so if there's 2 or 3 safety cars, like there often is in this league, we could find ourselves with maybe only 10 laps of racing or something like that, and that would make things quite difficult, I think, for us to try and progress up the field. I think we are going to have to hope there is a little bit of chaos if we want any chance of catching the cars in front. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a particularly straightforward affair. I think it's just going to be a simple case of trying to sort of sneak into the points, maybe in sort of P8, P9, hoping for a little bit of chaos. Maybe we'll be able to get a little bit further up the order, but we'll see. Looking at the strategies here, the medium soft didn't look too unappealing, but yeah, I decided that's what I was going to go for. Although am I switching it around here? Yeah, okay. I switched it around in the end to a soft medium because I figure, the soft compound tyres will last less time. I thought there's probably going to be an early safety car, so yeah, I decided to risk it, go on a set of softs and then switch to a set of mediums a bit later on, and we'll see if that turns out to be the correct play or not, because if there's no safety car, then obviously that's not going to be ideal for us. So yeah, we will see whether my strategy switch plays out correctly. Andy, who is a much faster driver than me, has also gone onto the softs, so that bodes well. Meanwhile, pole position here was actually taken by Louis, who is brand new to the league. So yeah, very remarkable from him. We'll see if he can convert that. Meanwhile, we'll see what we can do as the lights come on and the lights go out, and we've gotten away well. It seems like we're getting a bit of a run on Dylan here, but who knows whether we'll be able to capitalise on that to try and go for the overtake on him. Back out of it a little bit. I can nearly get pinched in between Andy and Dylan there, so I just kind of back out, and a bit of an incident there with Jermaine and Mike by the looks of things, and Mike already down a couple of positions. We've managed to get the switch back on Dylan there, who was going around the outside, and that puts us up into P12, and now we're going to see if we can make up further positions. Mike, he's a fairly good defender, I would say. He's very difficult to overtake. even though I wouldn't say that his pace was absolutely astounding, no disrespect to the guy, he definitely can defend quite well. But in that scenario, he went a bit deep into the corner, went off the track, and it was quite easy to get ahead of him. So yeah, I was quite happy about that, because other times in races where I've been behind him, I've been stuck behind him for 1 or 2 laps, and it's been rather frustrating. So yeah, I was glad to get ahead of him here. Meanwhile, Simple, who I believe started 4th, already looking like he's about to fall down into 10th place, as Andy is going to get ahead of him. I'm assuming he was caught up in some kind of incident to fall all the way from 4th down to 10th in a matter of a lap, but we will see if we can get ahead of him quickly now and try and put some pressure on Jermaine, who is only a few positions up the road. I reckon Andy will be able to make this overtake on Jermaine sooner rather than later, although he actually doesn't manage to make it on this occasion. So yeah, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see that happen. Meanwhile, it looks like Ryan is leading the race, so yeah, very impressive stuff from the man from Scotland. We'll see if he can convert this into a second win of the season, because he, of course, won in Japan the first race of the season. Will he be able to make it 2 wins this season here in Singapore? We are still running in P11 as we start lap 2 now, and yeah, the order seems pretty similar for the few cars in front. Jermaine's still leading Andy, and then Simple, and then myself. Meanwhile, we've managed to break away from J-Man quite a bit. So I just have to worry about what's going on in front of me right now, make sure I can capitalise on any kind of dramas that are happening, anything like that. And it looks like Andy is finally going for that move on Jermaine, bit of contact there. Simple tries his luck, he gets a bit optimistic there as well. Jermaine squeezes him to the inside, we try and dive up the inside, and we've spun out Simple. And yeah, I think that was a 50-50 racing incident. Simple kind of started to come across me a little bit. He definitely should have left me a bit of room there, but also it was a very opportunistic move from myself. So we're up into P10. Simple's down. The ruling on that one from the stewards was no further action, and yeah, we were able to continue progressing forward. We've made our way up into P9 now as we get onto lap 4, and you can see we have Bryn Death Toll in front of us here, and I'm going to try and dispatch him quite quickly if we can. We're going to see if we can go for a bit of a switchback here, because he's gone quite deep into that hairpin, but to no avail. We can't quite get ahead of him yet. We're going to see if we can use the DRS to make the overtake here. We're going to go to the outside, brake nice and early. He's going to go deep into the corner once again, and I think, looking at the traction we got there, we've pulled off the switchback. That is one of the tastiest moves I think I've made in this entire league this season, at least. Yeah, I was very, very happy with that. He just tried to defend a little bit too hard there, went a little bit deep, and we were able to switch it back to the inside and make the overtake up into P8. Next on the menu is Jermaine, and he is the guy who I am really desperate, fiending to beat in this race, quite frankly, because he is the one who I'd say I've sort of been battling in the championship standings the whole way through. He got a P4 in Imola, which honestly, if I'm not trying to sound salty or anything like that, but it absolutely should have been mine had it not been for my connection issues. So yeah, I was very, very frustrated that he ended up getting P4 there, because it ended up meaning that he's actually moved quite far ahead of me in the championship standings now. I think he's about 10 points ahead of me or so, which with only 2 races to go, granted, yes, one of them is a sprint race, I'm going to need a very strong performance in both the sprint and the race next time, and also a strong performance here if I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to beat Jermaine. The first few soft compound runners are coming into the pit lane, including Ryan McLean here, so yeah, he's going on to the hards to the end, which is interesting, because I would have thought the mediums would have been the play, but we'll see how it works out for him. There has been no safety car yet, as Kaznuki overtakes me. I believe he had a spin a bit earlier in the race, which is how I ended up ahead of him. So yeah, he's starting to make his way back through the field now, is Kaznuki, and we will see what he is capable of doing as the race unfolds. But yeah, I was umming and ahhing whether I was going to box this lap or the lap after. Seeing Ryan box this lap made me think that maybe it might be an idea to box at the end of lap 8, but I wasn't sure if the mediums were going to be able to do another lap. So yeah, I think I may stay out. I'm not sure what I end up doing at the end of this lap, but I guess we will find out as we move on to lap 9. Yes, I haven't boxed yet, so I did decide to stick with my original pit strategy of pitting on lap 9 and we're going to do it at the end of this lap, go onto a set of medium compound tyres, which hopefully will take us to the end of the race. But if there is a safety car, then things might unfold a little bit differently. We will see how things go as we make our way into the pits now. A few people who obviously had already pitted are going to get back ahead of us, including Ryan and Phil. And yeah, we get a good turn in 2.2 seconds on the pit stop. We're going to gain every tactical advantage we possibly can, and we will see what the gap between myself and Jermaine is come the end of the pit stop. We've also got Undertaker Dylan as well, who is, you know, he had a difficult start to the race, but he's making his way back through, and yeah, he is up into P9 now. Meanwhile, Jermaine has definitely come out ahead of us once again. He is on the hard compound tyres. I'm the only one here who's gone for the mediums, which I was a little bit surprised about. I would have thought more people going onto the mediums on their second stint, but no, Ryan, Phil, Jermaine, all of these guys, Dylan as well, all of them going onto the hard compound tyres. So I hope this doesn't prove to be the wrong strategy here. In any case, we will see what we are capable of doing as we progress through the laps. I've got 2 seconds to make up to Jermaine, and on the superior compound of tyre, I will have the pace on him, but will these tyres have the longevity, or will they go off too quickly before I'm able to catch him? We will see. As we get to the start of lap 12, we've definitely made a little bit of headway, but not too much. Obviously, he's got that DRS on Dylan as well, but Dylan, I believe, boxed quite early in this race, so his tyres are starting to go off as well. So I think there is a good opportunity for us to maybe close him down as well. We will see what the gap looks like to these guys in front as we go through these sequence of corners. Yeah, you can see that I am just gaining and gaining and gaining on both of them in front. Yes, Jermaine's got the DRS, which is sort of giving the illusion that he's pulling away from me. And actually, I think he's going for a move on Dylan here. And, oh, they've hit each other and they've spun. They're both round and we're through and we're up into P8. And that is what you like to see if you're me. 14 seconds in front, 5 seconds behind. Let's just hope there are no safety cars going forward now, and should be bang tidy to the end of the Grand Prix for P8, and I'll be very, very happy with that, especially if Jermaine stays in P10, because that will mean that I will gain an extra 3 points on him, reducing the deficit to just 7 points going into the final race. So yeah, it will be achievable to catch him, but it will still be quite a tall affair, especially considering my best result this season has been a couple of P6s. I can't remember if I had 2 or 3 so far this season, but definitely I have done no better than P6. And as Dylan has retired from the race, that is a safety car called. So unfortunately, things are not going to be as smooth as I was hoping they would be. But yeah, we will see what we are capable of doing once the safety car comes back in. But yeah, we're not going to have things all our own way here, it seems. Dylan actually, from that, he got banned for the following race because he retired on track. He pressed the retire from session button, which is not something you're allowed to do, actually. So yeah, he was deemed to be in breach of the rules. And yeah, I think that you know, we had to take a very hard line on it in the league, because it manipulates the outcome of the race. If you retire on track and it brings out a safety car, that manipulates the rules of the results of the race, and it's just not on, quite frankly. You know, when you're upset with how your race is going, that doesn't mean that you can just sort of deliberately retire from the race. You know, we took a hard line against it in Jeddah when someone was having a difficult race and deliberately crashed out and tried to take someone with them. And I don't think that this is all that different when you press the retire from race button and it brings out a safety car. I think that is, you know, you have to you have to treat that with the utmost severity. So we have come in for a set of soft compound tyres. And I actually noticed during that safety car that J-Man retired on track. So yeah, well, I didn't notice that before, but anyway, we'll skirt over everything I've just said. And yeah, a few people coming into the pit lane now, and we're going to see if we can get ahead of Mike to get back into P8, and we will be back where we were before. Jermaine's still ahead of us. I believe he's gone on to... he's either still on his hards or he's gone into a set of mediums. I know he definitely does go into a set of mediums at some point, but I can't remember if he's done it yet or not. Meanwhile, we're coming under pressure from KK and Simple as well. So yeah, that is maybe going onto the softs was not the play here, because it seems like we're just losing ground and losing ground. KK going for the overtake here. Is he going to be able to pull it off or not? We will find out as he makes the overtake up into P10, and we're out of the points now. Yes, KK has a 6-second penalty, but still, This is not what you want to see as we make our way into the second sector of the Singapore street circuit at Marina Bay. And Mike's off track and he's in the wall. I don't know if he's retired from the race there, but certainly that is big damage. And there is a safety car once again. The combination of that and an AM retiring from the race has brought out a safety car. Actually, interestingly, AM also did the retire from session thing. And I think that might have contributed to the safety car. So that was the second race ban that we have issued for this race. But that was a bit of a shit show here, to be honest, here in Singapore, as we get ready to go racing for the final 4 laps. Jermaine has now boxed onto a set of medium, so he hadn't done it before, but he's done it now. That's pushed him down into P10. Simple's gone off track and got a 3-second penalty there. So it looks like P7 could even be ours here, and we are going to try and have a field day here for the final few laps. Simple trying to take Phil out there, seemingly. He's gone to the inside of the track, and that was a very interesting decision from him. But we're going to see if we can get ahead of him now. We've got a better run going into this corner, but he's going to have the outside line. Doesn't give us that much room there, and that's actually going to compromise our run here. So we're going to have to burn quite a lot of battery to be able to keep Bryn behind. And well, these soft compound tyres just really weren't working for me. I don't know what it was, but they just really didn't feel very good. Bryn's gone off track there. That's him absolutely binning it down the track, and very, very disappointing for him, because he had a pretty strong qualifying, and I think his race start was also pretty strong from what he was saying. So to find himself outside of the points now, I think he's going to be pretty disappointed with that, and especially with only 4 laps to go, being as far down as he is, it's going to be very hard for him to get back into the race now. But we will see if we can. Simple's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. He's got damage, and we've managed to dive up the inside of him there and take P7. So I think we should be good for P7 here now, hopefully, as long as Jermaine can't get past us, which actually isn't guaranteed, because he does have fresher medium tyres, and our softs really were not feeling great in this stint. I was looking at my tyre temps because they were overheating a bit during my medium stint. It wasn't affecting me too much, but I was just praying that the tyres wouldn't overheat again. But I think Jermaine is potentially going to catch us. Meanwhile, Simple has lost out with that damage to Jermaine, to Mike, and to KK. So Simple all the way down into P11, and I think he's actually retired now. So that means only 11 people are left in the race, and this is turning into a chaotic mess of a race, quite frankly, as we make our way through. We're coming under pressure from Jermaine here. I think that he is actually going to make this move. Is he going to go for it up the inside into turn 1? No, he's not, but with only 2 laps to go, I really don't think I'm going to be able to defend from Jermaine. So we're going to have a bit of a struggle here. KK, I think, has had an incident with Mike there, and is that Mike finally out of the race after one too many incidents? No, somehow he's managed to still keep going. He's been caught up in quite a few incidents in this race, so I'm very, very surprised that he's managed to keep going there. But fair play to him for sticking it out. And you probably will get points in a race like this with how much chaos has been going on. Jermaine finally makes the move on me, takes the opportunity, and I don't think we're getting back past him. So we're just going to have to see what we can do. Oh, Mike's crashed. He's out. Gutted for him, because he was on for a point there. But finally, after 21 laps, I'm sure he'll be heartbroken with that result. But it is the end of the race for Mike, and hopefully he'll be able to bounce back in Silverstone, maybe grab some points, who knows. We're going to see if we can continue putting pressure on Jermaine, but what's happening really is that KK is getting back ahead of us and making his way through into P8, but I think with that 9-second penalty that he's got there, I should be able to stay in range of him. I was really disappointed not to be able to stay with Jermaine though, because I really wanted to beat him for the sake of the championship and for the sake of this sort of pseudo rivalry that myself and Jermaine have had going on pretty much all season. I wanted to keep things competitive going into the final race, but I think that a 12-point gap might just be a little bit too much to overcome, even with a sprint race. When my best result all season has been P6, I don't think that I'm going to be able to make up the deficit with only one race and one sprint left to go, unless I have my strongest performance of the season so far, which, yes, it's Silverstone, yes, that is a pretty good track for me, yes, it can throw up a bit of chaos here and there, but generally speaking, I don't think that it is going to be so much of a barnstormer that I'm going to be able to overcome that deficit, I guess. So yeah, I think we are just going to have to settle in for this P8. We'll be able to get ahead of KK, but that will be about it, I think. Bryn, not likely to catch us, 14 seconds down. Even if he does, he's got 8 seconds on us, which means he's going to have to make up 22 on us if he wants to get into P9, that will be. Well, I guess if he'd got made up that deficit, he'd probably be able to catch KK as well. But yeah, in any case, I think that it's going to be P10 for him. It will be P8 for us because I don't think KK's making up 8 seconds on us here. And yeah, Jermaine was just pulling away and pulling away. I really was struggling in these last few laps on these tyres. They felt like they had no grip. And yeah, I really just couldn't keep going. There's a yellow flag here, and it's Andy out of the race on the very last lap. So yeah, commiserations for him, because that's promoted me up 1 position into P7. And yeah, somehow, despite the fact that all that was going on, we've managed to grab P7. But the twists and turns do not end there, because despite the fact that I've got P7 in this race, Jermaine of all people got a 5-second post-race penalty for an incident with Simple, which happened when I wasn't able to see it. So it wasn't the one where it looked like he might have got squeezed a little bit too far into the wall. The steward said that one was fair game. But there was another one where he kind of came across Simple and didn't really leave him enough room in a corner. Stewards deemed that was unfair, and yeah, that meant that Simple. I think he already had damage by that point, but yeah, it definitely didn't help Simple's race any. So yeah, Jermaine got a 5-second post-race penalty, promoting me into P6 in this race. So somehow, for the 3rd time this season, we've got a P6. We had a P6 in Jeddah, we had a P6 in Monza, and we've had a P6 here in Singapore as well. And that means that the deficit to Jermaine now is only 8 points in the championship, and that feels like a gap that I can overcome. All I need there is to just beat Jermaine in both races, get somewhere around a top 6 finish in both races, and we should be cooking with gas to beat Jermaine. I need to finish ahead of him on points, because he is ahead of me as far as best result is concerned. But that is going to be it for this video. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.